folks, it's been a long time, and we've got the final apple tasting of the 2017-2018 season. These are some late varieties. They should have been tasted earlier, but I got held up with my problems at home, you know, with my parents and that. So we're getting towards the end of March now. So what can you tell us, Nigel?
Well, all this selection of apples here was put together just before our first grafting workshop, about 10th of February. And to my surprise, I didn't throw the apples away when we had to cancel the apple tasting, but to my surprise, they seem to have stayed in quite good condition. One or two needed replacing with new fruit from the cellar. So let's see what we've got. Now, with long storing apples, one of the characteristics that they have is that they have a different genetic makeup. Most apples, when you store them for too long, they go mealy, which means they taste like cardboard. They go soft and rather unpleasant. And there's a gene in the apple's makeup that causes that to happen, the mealiness gene. But late apples tend not to have it, so once they've stored perhaps past Christmas, they don't actually go mealy. They go dried, sometimes wrinkled, sometimes rubbery, but they retain the flavours. So it'll be interesting to see which of these are truly long storing apples. This apple here I picked, believe it or not, on March the 20th locally, off the tree. Still in good nick. I don't know what it is, I don't know what the variety is, but perhaps I'll be able to find that out. Okay, let's start off then. We've got 12 varieties to taste. This is West Virginia Beauty. We've met this before occasionally. This is supposed to be quite a late storing apple. Well, it's not in superb condition, is it? But it's not bad. Mm. March the 26th. If you'd got a bowl of those, you'd eat them. Still quite firm.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a 3.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
That's quite okay to eat. Mm. Mm. Just lacking a bit of flavour, that's all.
Yeah, it's gone over a little bit, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
I think I'll give it a 3 as well.
Shall we just remind folks how we're marking?
Well, that's a good idea. Yes.
The video before.
Yes. If right, when we do a score, it's out of 5. If it's a 3, it's okay. Don't really like it a lot, but don't dislike it. If it's 4, it's really good, and if it's 5, it is excellent. Couldn't be better. If an apple has any hint of being unpleasant, it gets either a 2 or a 1. And sometimes we use halves. Right.
And that's normally when the apples are so good, it's hard to choose between them.
Yeah. But we don't give that many 5s, do we, in the course of a season? Right.
Not many 1s either.
No, that's true.
There has been a couple, I think I gave.
Yes, there have been some. This is MM106, which is used as a rootstock. It's very rarely allowed to grow for long enough to fruit, but MM106 apples are quite good. We use them in pies. They're quite good for cooking. They're quite sharp if you pick them in October. They get a little bit less sharp as they go through the season. And that's not bad. I'd give that a 3.5, possibly a 4.
Same for me, yeah. Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's got a nice sweet taste to it.
Yeah, in fact, I think I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah, you can give them 4 to me. I
Yeah.
think that's quite good.
Mm.
I mean, looking at it, you would think, oh, that's not going to be much good, but, you know,
Yeah,
it surprises you.
It started to shrink. You can see a little bit of wrinkling on the
Yeah.
skin, but it's still okay.
Still firm.
So it's going, eventually it'll go rubbery, not mealy. Next one is mere pippin. This is usually met as a yellow apple, but you can see it's been stored so long it's starting to colour up now. This is the one that we found in Mere Village, near Wincanton. Occasionally it stays on the tree very, very late, but this year they were all ready by about the end of November.
Perhaps, Nigel, you can just tell people who are new to apples and that how you keep them, so they, you know, so you can eat them for longer.
Oh, I see. Well, I've got a small cellar which is kept at, well, it's not kept, it is at about 50 degrees Fahrenheit all through the year, and I keep the apples in mushroom trays, which are perforated plastic trays, stacked one on top of the other. I don't wrap the fruit because paper tends to impart its own flavour to fruit if you're not careful. So it's the apples are 1 apple deep in mushroom trays, stacked one on top of the other, so they can breathe. And this stops them from going, what would we call it, stagnant. It stops the apples from aging in an unpleasant way. And they usually keep, some of them will usually keep through till about May or even June, but it's highly dependent on the variety. The speed of the chemical decomposition in the apples depends entirely on the variety and the temperature.
And what the weather was being.
Oh yeah, the weather makes a difference as well. It's not a very good storing year or storing season this season, because the temperatures seem to fluctuate quite a lot, and there was a hot period in the summer which tends to speed up the ageing process, but most of the late apples don't seem to have been affected too much. No, we haven't assessed this mere pippin. We got distracted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's give it a score. It's pretty firm. You can probably hear that as I'm cutting it. It sort of crunches as the knife goes through it.
Yeah, I really like that.
That's a perfectly acceptable apple, isn't it?
I'm going to give that a 4.5.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to give it a 4. But it's pretty good.
I wonder what, it'd be interesting to compare our previous tastings of these over the years and see whether they've altered much.
I'm thinking of doing that on the website.
Yeah.
Putting a page together so you can compare all the different tastings that we've done. So that will happen. Next one is the Sutton Elms apple.
That's local to us.
Yeah, it was found in the middle of your carriageway near the village of Sutton in the Elms. Originally my tree was in a pot and the apples were golf ball size, but these are getting bigger since I put the tree in the ground. Oh, that was very soft when the knife went through. I think it started to go over. Ah, yeah, gone. You're eating it.
Yeah, another piece, please. I like it.
It's very sweet, but it's starting, to my taste, to go mealy. But people's perceptions are so different. In fact, the flavour's not bad, is it?
It's lovely.
Flavour's all right. But it's the texture that's gone a bit soft.
I agree with that, yeah.
It's lost nearly all its acid, but it's sweet and not bad.
I'll give that 3.5.
Okay, I'll give it a 3. Right, next one is Webster. This is an American apple, a pink fleshed apple. It stores superbly. It never goes mouldy. It's always crystal clear and clean on the skin. It's not noted for its flavour when it's raw, but it cooks very well. And you get a nice sort of pink effect when you put them in pies. Well, it's fairly sweet, a little bit soft, but it's bitter.
I don't like it at
It's
all.
bitter.
In fact, I can't eat that now.
That's unpleasant. But when you cook it, the bitterness goes. If I cooked you on some of those, you'd find they were fine.
Oh,
But there's
oh.
you've got the bitterness there, obviously.
Yeah.
Are you going to give it a 2 or a 1 then?
1.
Okay. I couldn't eat a whole one. I think I'll give it 1.5.
Oh.
But I repeat, as a cooker, it's fine. The bitterness just disappears. The next one is quite an interesting fruit. It's a very late storer. It's a high cross apple. We found this on the side of the road near High Cross, which is where the A5 crosses the Foss Way. And it's not a particularly good eater, but it's a little bit bitter, and it's slightly sweet. But we find that with salads, we use this as a substitute for tomatoes in the winter, because the acid-tannin balance is about the same. So on its own, it's not a particularly good experience, but with salad, it's great. What do you reckon?
2.
2, yeah. I'm going to give it a 3, but as I say, that proviso, we use it as a substitute for tomatoes, and it's very nice through the winter when tomatoes or English tomatoes are not available. Durrant apple. This was found in Norfolk, a little sweet red-skinned apple with a cream flesh. It seems to have kept quite well this year. That felt quite firm as I was cutting it. What on earth is that flavour? If you were given a blindfold, you wouldn't know what fruit that was, would you? It doesn't taste like apple.
No.
It's sweet and fairly firm. A bit more.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like a pear. For me, it's perfectly okay. Just very odd.
Very odd taste.
There's very little acidity. It's sweet. It's firm. A little bit like a pear. Is there any other fruit it's like?
I don't know. I don't eat a lot of fruit.
It seems to have a hint of now what's that? I can't remember what the fruit is. It's a foreign fruit that's got a big stone in the centre, and it's got clear flesh around the outside, but you have to peel off. With the skin, you have to peel off. I can't remember what it is. It'll perhaps come to me as we're doing the rest. But
Right.
yeah, not bad.
3.5.
Yeah, I agree. If I don't remember what the fruit is that reminds me of by the end of the video, I'll look it up and I'll put it in the comments. Next one is Hidden Rose. We've seen this before. I've got a large fruit here which doesn't seem to have stored that well. You can see it's a red-fleshed apple, and I think it's starting to go over, but I think the small one might have kept better. Just see what you reckon. This is American. Any good? Where's he?
It gets worse as you go through it.
It does, doesn't it? Well, it's gone mealy.
Yeah.
Let's try the other one, but I think that's way beyond its storage date. Well, that's better, but not still not good.
The first one I'd give would be a 2. The second one a 3.
The second one, the tree was in the shade,
Yeah.
and so the apples were not as ripe when I picked them,
Right.
and I think that's why they've stored better.
Mm.
Okay, well let's put the number for
Yeah.
the better one. So I'm
Yeah.
going to give it a 3 as well. It's okay.
Yeah.
Right, the next one
Which
is
one?
they're both the same. They are.
Oh.
It's the Parkway Apple. This is one of the latest apples that we found in a hedgerow, and we found this in Northamptonshire. There's a part of Northampton just outside Northampton called Parkway. And the first time we found this tree, the apples were still on in March. That's why we preserved it, just to see what the fruit were like. Oh, they've not stored to all this year. It's gone mealy, unfortunately.
The skin's very tough.
Yeah, it is. I think the tough skin is one of the reasons it keeps. It
Yeah.
stops the water from coming out.
Yeah.
But I'd give that thumbs down, I think, at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's edible, but you have to be quite hungry to want to eat it. 2?
2, yeah.
Yeah. And we've got some old friends here that we've met before. Pink Pearl. This is American. Quite a good keeper usually. And you can see it's pink inside. It's starting to shrivel. Going slightly soft, but it's not mealy.
I'm going to give that a 3.
Yeah, I think it's about a 3. We've got
Yeah.
another fruit here from a tree that was in the shade. Let's see if it's any better. Yes. Oh, that's got a little grub hole in it.
Yeah, I don't want any grubs.
Yeah, let's give you a bit that hasn't got a grub in it. There you go.
You can have the bit with the grub.
Give it to Alison. Oh, that's sweeter. That's better, for me anyway. I think I'd give that probably 3.5. That's firmer as well.
Yeah.
3.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one is Christmas Pink. Now I think these are sort of brother and sister apples with similar or possibly the same parents. So this is American again, bred by Albert Etta. It's quite similar to Pink Pearl. Most years it's darker inside, but this year it's about the same. It's not really coloured up very much.
Three.
It's not that different to Pink Pearl, is it?
No.
Similar sort of taste.
Yeah.
Bit more.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
For me, that's better than a 3. I think I'm going to give it a 4. And the last one is Burford Yellow. This is one we found outside Burford. These fruit are from the original tree. Very long storing winter apple. Similar in appearance to MM106. But a bit firmer. Not quite as sharp. That's still very firm, not very much juice. A little bit dry. I'd give it about a 3.5, I think.
Can I try another piece?
Yeah,
Just to
yeah.
confirm?
This is quite unlike a supermarket apple. There's nothing like as much sugar or crunch to it, or juice. Supermarket apples tend to be firm, sweet, juicy. All the same. This is the opposite. It's dry. You have to work at it a bit to chew it.
I'm going to give that a 4.
Yeah, I like that. This generally does quite well at our tastings. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to give it a 4. If you eat one of those, you feel that you've eaten something. You know, it's quite filling.
Yeah.
So we've got only one which was disastrous, one that wasn't very good, and the rest fair to middling or better. Let's put that on the table. So March the 26th, winter storing apples, there we go. Anything you'd like to add, Julie?
Yeah, well, we didn't get any 10s, did we? Or 9s.
No.
So nothing special out of this late one. But nevertheless, who would have thought you could pick apples, you could eat apples so late? You know, I mean, it's nearly April now.
Well, yeah, and these are English apples,
Yeah.
fresh, grown locally. More people should do it, I think.
Yeah, sure, yeah, and they'd be surprised, you know, the variety of tastes. It's just, you know, if it was if you're blindfolded, you wouldn't know.
And some of them do have really unusual flavours, which, as you say, if you were blindfolded, you wouldn't know what the fruit was.
No, no.
Okay, well, I hope you found that interesting. We hope to be back fairly soon doing 1 or 2 short videos. We'll do that as Julie's commitments permit.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks
bye for
a
now.
lot, folks.